right, good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Matt Milligan, and I'm here for this month's webinar on the software updates in the latest quarter. So something interesting for you guys to go over. Now, just before we start, of course, I just want to let you guys know, obviously you can't record this webinar. One thing to note is once this webinar is done later today, it will be uploaded onto our YouTube page. So there's no need to record anything or anything like that. So if you guys turn up late or you've missed out on something at the end of this call, it should be, at the end of this day, sorry, it should be uploaded. Okay. All right, so what is the agenda for today's webinar? So there's a few things that's been updated over the last quarter. First and foremost is probably the biggest one, which is tenancy renewals. You guys might have noticed that over the last week or two. And the next stage is transferring automation from one account to another. This is if you have multiple accounts within Arthur Online. Third and probably our biggest launch was the live bank feed. We'll just go over that a little bit and tell you guys a bit about that. And we just recently released a brand new owner web app to the system. So I'll just show you guys around on that section as well. And we'll just talk over a little bit of additional new features as well that's been added into little small bits and bobs as well on top. I will take you through a little live demo as well, just a quick demo on these features as well, just to show you guys how to use them, how to correctly set it up. And then at the end of it all, we'll just have a quick Q&A, go over any questions you guys had on the demo or on the PowerPoint I went over. If you guys do have questions throughout the webinar, please leave it till the end in the Q&A session, so then I can go through and answer them all at once. So if you have any questions halfway through it, just note it down on a bit of paper and then just wait to ask it at the end, please. Okay, that's great. All right, so next, so let's talk a bit about the tenancy renewals. What has changed? Obviously, quite a bit has actually changed, so I'll just take you through that now. First and foremost, we've actually changed a bit of the summary page. So as you can see here, when you go onto the tenancy index page, you'll notice that there's a now little renewal tag underneath the tenancy status to say it's been renewed. And here is you got the brand new contract dates that this tenancy is going to start. So Anthony Jones, for example, his tenancy was ended on the 30th of April, and he's now agreed a new renewal contract, which is the 1st of May to next year. So it just gives you a little bit of a broader one. And if you have a look here on the summary page as well, when you click into the tenancy, you can see the little renew tag at the top here. Then the renewal start date is just underneath the original start and end dates. And on top of that as well, we just added a little new thing here called the new rent amount. So if you've agreed a new rent figure for that tenancy on the renewal contract, it will just note that here. And when it comes to the 1st of April, that £50 will be changed to the 300 quid, and it won't have any new rent after that. And yeah, all right. So on top of that as well, we've also cleared up in the activity logs when you are scheduled a renewal. So as you can see with Anthony, he was scheduled a renewal on the 1st of May. His new rent amount is 300. There's no new deposit. I've just from this case, I've agreed, just to keep the deposit that he's agreed upon on the first contract. So there's nothing new on there. And here, yeah, the important bit is there's two new recurring charges that are going to start on the 1st of May. So when it hits the 1st of May, this recurring charge will schedule to create against his recurring charge section under the tenancy. So here you can just see a nice little breakdown of what will happen on the 1st of May when it comes to then. And the last one, which is probably what's been demanded through quite a lot over the last quarter or year or so, actually, even for that matter, is tenancy renewal documents. So you can now create renewal documents for your contracts and your ASTs. So as you can see here, we've added a brand new load of variables in. So you can see the renewal end date, start date, renewal tenants that are moving in, a new renewal rent amounts and guarantors. Because I know you guys sometimes with when it comes to renewals, there might be a new tenant that might move in on top of a new tenancy being renewed, or there might be a tenant that's leaving on top. So that's why we've agreed to have the new renewed tenants against it. As well, we got renewal dates. That's the day you completed the renewal. And yeah, that's it. So what you would have to do is I'll go through this a bit in the live demo. It's how you would have to create a brand new mail merge template. And against that template, you would add these variables in and replace it with the old variables that you have, which was the tenancy.start, the tenancy.8. You would replace it with these new guys here, renewal start, date, time, and that's how you would create your template. But I'll go through that in more detail with you guys just in a bit. just so it makes a bit more sense with you. Next section, we're going to talk a bit about the copy automation. So if I just move on to the next one, there you go. Copy automation. This is for clients who have more than one account on the system. Now, it's a very useful feature. If A, yes, you have multiple accounts, and B, you've created a number of custom triggers and actions against your main account, and you want to copy it over into your second account or your third account. How it works is you literally just log into your second account or your third account. You'd go into automation, you click more, and you click copy from account, and then from there you would select which account you want to copy the automation over. Now, yeah, it is important that you make sure you are on your second or third account, because if you're on your main account, for example, that has all your automation on it, and you go into this section here and copy from account and copy from the second account, it would replace it with everything on the second account, which may not have anything against it. So it's very important that you guys make sure you're on the account you want the automation added to. Next bit as well is the live bank feed. Now, live bank feed, how can it help you? So this is mainly for guys who aren't using Xero or QuickBooks, or are interested in leaving Xero or QuickBooks and want to move to the live bank feed. It's extremely useful for your companies. So obviously it directly integrates your bank account with Arthur Online. You have full visibility of your business and can see exactly what's going on in and out of your account on one platform. You eliminate the need to check multiple sources and ensure they match thereby reducing the risk of human error. And you can also produce a bunch of reports within our Arthur financial section. So if you click into reports and financials, we got about 3 or 4 live bank feed reports that you guys can run off. So essentially, it's just accessing accessing key business data quickly and efficiently freeing up the value, time, and resources you can reinvest and expand in your portfolio. That was our ultimate goal with the live bank feed. Now, if you want to learn more about this, because I know I've been very brief on this live bank feed here, we also have a full webinar on the live bank feed on our YouTube page. It's about an hour long, and it takes you through every single step-by-step guide on how to integrate your live bank feeds. Now, one thing is worth noting as well is today is actually the last day you can sign up to the bank feed free of charge. From tomorrow, you will then have to start paying for £12 a month. So if you do want to get on board with the live bank feed, I'd advise you guys get it set up today as soon as possible, so then you can get it free of charge, of course. Now, sorry guys, I can see you asking a few questions. Just wait until the end of the session in the Q&A section, so then we can talk about it a bit more, okay? All right, so yeah, that's a live bank feed. Now, as well, if you have any further questions on that, and you don't want to watch a YouTube webinar, just come to the live chat. My financial colleagues will also be more than happy to take you through it today to get you set up. All right, next one is the new owner PWA app. So what this basically means is it's a progressive web app, and it is a brand new system that we've sort of improved and cleaned up on. Now, as you can see here, it's a lot cleaner in terms of keeping track of what's going on within the owner, because we obviously within the owner app, we wanted to make sure it's very clear and simple for the owner to keep track of what's important to them. So first and foremost, at the top here, any work order approval requests. So if if there's any quotes required that you need the owner to sign off on, that's where you would go through here. Contact manager, simply it takes you to a message section to which he can send a message to you guys. Payments received is actually probably the biggest improvement of it, which I'll go through in the next slide, which takes you through a breakdown of all his latest remittances that have gone to his bank account. And then here, obviously, you just got a summary of your units and tenancies that are currently active against the properties. And then down here, you got the little bar. You got the jobs, which is your work orders. So if you have any work orders against his properties, it will show up here under jobs. Messages, of course, it will just list a history of his messages that he's sent over or has received from other people, like you guys, the managers or the contractors, for example. And documents as well. Documents is what you guys have shared to him, whether it's the tenancy's AST contract or is images from a work order that's been uploaded against his property. So yeah, very, very clear and simple, the overview page. We wanted to make it look like that as best as we could. And the next slide actually is the important bit, which is actually, I want to go over you guys, because I know a lot of you guys have issues where you spend a lot of time downloading, printing remittance statements and sending it off to the landlords to make sure they have a look. Well, now within the owner app, you can tell them to just view it through the app itself and download it. So how it works is, say I'm Trek Ltd, the landlord. Um, I would go into my payments received and I can see a £1,000 payment made to me on the 25th of February. If I click into that, you can see here a breakdown of all the transactions against that £1,000. Yeah, so it's all very clear in detail. And if you click the little this little download icon down here, it actually downloads a PDF statement of that remittance. So instead of you guys having to use the batch print section or to email it over to them or to mail it over as well as a letter, they can simply just download it here through the app if they wish to. So it's one way to sort of convince your landlords to get onto the app as well, because I know a lot of you guys do struggle with getting your landlords to push onto the app itself. So yeah, that's the main new feature with the owner app. Really, obviously a lot of improvements have been made to it, but I really want to go over this section here with the remittance because I thought it's very key for you guys, especially that so much work is done in this section over in your management company. All right. The last but not least, we have the additional new features. Now, it's just a few little things I just wanted to go over that couldn't really put onto a separate slide. So you can now attach images and documents to messages. I know quite a few probably have seen that already. It's very simple when you just compose a brand new message, you'll just see attached documents at the bottom of it right before you send. We've also made some improvements to the applicants and viewing index page. We just basically just cleaned it up, made it feel a bit more user friendly for you guys when it comes to managing the applicants and viewing section. We've also just released a brand new report on called the tenancy documents report. Sorry, and what it basically tells you is what documents have and have not been shared with the tenants. Now, because I know some guys sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to see if you've actually shared the correct documents with the tenant or if you've not done that. So this report will just briefly break down everything you need on if you've shared that how to rent guide, if you shared that certificate, if you shared the ASD contract. It's all there and plain and simple for you guys to run within this report. And I'll show you guys where this report is in Arthur Online in just a moment. And one thing just to keep note out actually is we also have a brand new update coming to the manager app over the next week or two. I've had a look at it myself and it looks amazing. It looks very clean. It's very more user friendly when it comes to using the app. So watch out for the new notification and the email you guys will receive later, maybe this week or next week, and when that app is released to live. Because I had a look at it myself and it looked amazing. Okay, so that is everything we just went over in the presentation. Now, I do want to just have a quick live demo of the sections. Now, I'll try to be as clear as possible and as slow as possible so you guys can take it all in together and leave some questions at the end of it. So, cool. If I just close this and let's just go into Arthur Online. Okay, lovely. So, tenancy renewals. Let's talk about that one first. So here we've got a tenancy called Harley Smith. Now his contract is ending at the end of April, and he's agreed. Let's pretend that he's agreed a new renewal. He wants to start on the 1st of May. He's got all the contracts signed. He's agreed the new rent amount. So we now need to implement that into Arthur Online and tell Arthur that Harley Smith is actually going to go on for another year. So the way to do that is if you click more at the top right hand corner and then click change tenancy. Now, change reason is going to be renew tenancy. Yeah, we are renewing the tenancy, so I'm going to click continue against that. Now, the next step we want to do is put in the new start date against him. So in this case, actually, so his new start date is going to be May the 1st of 2021, and it's going to be for another year. And you know what, we'll just say it's to the end of May as well. So that's his new renewal start and end dates. You don't need to change the tenancy status because he currently is still active on the property right now. He's still living in there for another month. So we'll just leave that as it is. But the important thing to note is this is where you add in the renewal start and end date. All right, so next is the contract rent. So here I've actually agreed that he's going to go up an extra 100 quid a month. I'm going to be a bit evil to him. So I'm going to charge him an extra 100 now. So I'll change that to 700. Deposit field, in this case, this tenancy doesn't require a deposit, so I've just left that blank. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. And then here it's the sort of same scenario, the tenant details. any recurring charges. So actually, I'm going to add a brand new recurring charge against this tenancy. So we'll just put in the rent, and this one is actually going to be 700 now. And to be invoiced, it's going to be on the 1st of May, 2021. Yep, and we're going to tell it to be for the period of the 1st of May to the end of the month, and he's expected to pay on the 1st of the month as well. So that's a new recurring charge set up for Harley Smith as well. He's got a test guarantor here, but we can just leave that alone. So yeah, this is where you would add in their brand new rent amount. Now, if it's the exact same, so if you just renewed the tenancy, and he's still going to be paying 600, he's still on the same amount, that's totally fine. Just change this to 600 here, and then just move on and click save again. Just make sure you add a brand new recurring charge against it. All right, so let's put 700 back on that, so because he's increased up. Now, next is charges. Now, because I manage on behalf of another landlord, I'm going to take a commission fee off mine. So I'm going to say I'll take 10% based on the rent received. I'm just going to add a standard rate against it as well. So that's my management fee. You can add any additional charges you have up here if you need to. But because he's already, usually it's only from move-in transactions. In this case, obviously, he's already moved in a year ago. So I have no additional charges I need to play against him. The only thing I need to worry about is my management fees generating. Now, obviously, if you guys are self-managing landlords and you don't charge any commission, you guys take the money directly. In your case, you just change the type from rent charge to direct rent, as you can see there, and you just delete this management fee here. So you just delete that button. But in my case, I am managing on behalf of another landlord, so I'm just going to keep it like this. Now, all you do next is you just click Update Tenancy. And there you go. So there is Harley Smith right there with a renewed tag against his name. He's got his renewed start and end date, his new lease dates that is going to begin on the 1st of April. And you can see here, he's got his new rent amount of 700 quid that he will begin once it hits the 1st of May. As of right now, he's currently still on 600 quid. Now, if I just scroll down to activity, you can see here now, it's scheduled my tenancy renewal for the 1st of May. And the 700 quid, as I showed you guys in the presentation, you can see 2 new recurring charges will be scheduled to create on the 1st of May as well, which is my rent and my management fee of 10%. And that's simply it. So when it does hit the 1st of May, what will happen is these dates will be replaced. So he will have the 1st of May against it. And then what will happen is in the history log here, it will show here the history tab will be renewed tenancy, and it will show that he's been renewed from the 1st of from the 30th of April to the 1st of May, and so on. But this will only happen once it hits the 1st of May, just to make that very clear with you guys, because obviously right now he is currently active for this contract, so he doesn't want to replace it with this contract just yet. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. If you have any questions on this, write it all down and we'll do it in the Q&A session in just a moment. Okay, so the next bit I just want to go over is the copy automation. Now, copy automation is very useful for you guys if you have a bunch of automated events in your system. So I just clicked my name at the top left here and I clicked automation here. All right, so under my account, I think I got loads of custom triggers against my name. Like I think I got, there you go, tenancy ended in 14 days, tenancy start in 7 days. I got a renewal email I've set out to send as well. I think I got some late rents reminders set 1 day, 2 days overdue as well, 30 days as well on top of that. Now, I've just set up a new Arthur account called, let's show you guys. I've got up a new Arthur account called Alexander Properties. Now I'm going to start adding in, I've got a new company called Alexander Properties. I'm going to start adding my properties and tenancies to it as well. However, if I go to my name at the top left and click automation, you can see that when I click tenancies, nothing has moved over. So I don't have my 14-day expiry, 7-day start, Waffit and financials, got nothing about the overdue rents as well. But I want to move everything from Milligan Properties on automation over to Alexander Properties. Now, the way you do that, guys, is you click more at the top left-hand corner. Make sure you're in the account you want it to be copied over to. So in this case, I've got nothing in here. I want to move over from Milligan Properties to Alexander. I'm in Alexander Properties. I then click more at the top right-hand corner, and I click copy from account. So I do that. I select the account I want to do it for. So in this case, it is going to be Milligan Properties. And then I just click confirm. I just wait for that to load up. So it just take a little bit while to load up because obviously it's trying to copy over quite a few custom triggers. But now it's done that. So as you can see here, it's confirmed that the account triggers has been copied from Milligan Properties today by myself, Max Milligan. Now, if I have a look here, there you go. I can now see all my custom triggers that I've created on Milligan Properties now under Alexander Properties. You can see here, there's the 14 days, there's the 7-day custom triggers I've created. So it's a very useful section to use if you guys are creating a new account or have a second account already and you can't be asked to manually create them all from scratch one by one. Just use the copy section. It's a very useful tool. Now, with the next section I want to go over is the attached messages. I want to go over that just briefly because it's very useful. If I click messages here, and then actually let me do it on my Milligan account because I got nothing in Alexander Properties. Okay, messages, let's say just compose a new message. You'll notice now under every single message body, there's a little section here called attach files here. And this is what you use to attach any additional documents or files, whether it's on your desktop or whether it's in R Online. Because if you click this little button here, you can choose existing document, which means any files that I've uploaded onto R Online, I can attach here, as you can see. So I can attach this document if I like to. There it is, John Smith AST. Or you can upload a brand new file from the desktop as well, as you can see up here. And yeah, like I said, compose a message, enter the name you want to be in. So if I put in John Smith, I think I've got quite a few John Smiths, haven't I? That's a bad example. Let's do Harley Smith. There you go, Harley Smith, want to send it to him, subject as well. And it's the exact same as well within the group message, as you can see here. Group message, you can attach the files. On top of that as well, if I want to go into Harley Smith, the tenancy we're just messing around with, and I go to messages here, and I click post message, it's the exact same concept. You select who you want to send it to. I'm sending it to Harley Smith. You can attach any additional files if you like, and you can attach any guarantors as well. So if I want to attach the guarantor that he's assigned to as well, you can do so. So basically, every message that you will compose on After Online will have an option to attach any additional files to it. And it becomes very handy now because I know this is a feature you guys were asking for quite a lot over the last few quarters. So it's good. It's good that we finally got it added in. Next section I want to go over is the applicants and viewings page. We just sort of cleaned it up a bit. I just want to go over a few things because there has been a small amount of changes added in. So for example, the status now is not tenant anymore. It's called concluded. So if you see that status concluded, it just basically means now that Leo Messi is now a tenancy under your system. So he's no longer an active applicant. He's now a concluded tenancy. Basically, essentially concluded just means you don't have to deal with him anymore as an applicant. He's down as a tenancy. His contract's all set up. He's all fine to go. You got a few other things as well, like inactive and in on hold. On hold just essentially is a status that you would put on if he's still messing about or he hasn't agreed anything yet. I've created my own custom applicant one as well called credit check failed. So this is something I actually created myself, which is in more and then preferences. So you see, you can create a new applicant status. I create my own one here called credit check failed. So what I usually like to do is I usually like to create credit checks against my applicants. And if they do fail against it, I just click the arrow down button here, click update status, and then I'll just click credit check failed if he did fail his credit check, or it's not something I want to move past. I don't want he failed his referencing, so they can do something like that. You can see here. You can now batch as well. So if I click this batch here, you can now batch create tenancy. You can batch create a credit check, or you can batch print as well. And on top of that, batch delete. So there's loads of new batch sections that you can do now from here forward. So if there's a bunch of tenancies in here that you no longer want to go, or sorry, there's a bunch of applicants here you no longer want to move forward with, I can tick these three, and then I can tick delete and get rid of them. Okay. And of course, with the viewing page as well, you see it's got sort of same formatting now. We wanted to make sure that each page had its sort of own layout, or had the same layout in a way, how it's stated with description, notes, date and statuses, and there's a few other bits and bobs here that you guys can have a look through, which is obviously the unit that they've assigned the viewing to, if there's a tenancy in there or not, any additional notes in the viewing, etc. as well. So yeah, just wanted to clean it up really. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave some comments on it later. And last but not least, I want to just go over the tenancy documents page. So how you do that is you go to reports, you go to tenancies. Apologies, by the way, my account is really messy with reports because it's used for testing, but you guys would only have one tenancy documents report, which is just this one here. So if you click this, Now, just one thing I just want to remember for you guys is if you see a report that says system report locked against it, I'm just doing it for Milligan Properties, of course. If you see a report that has that tag, system report locked against it, just make sure you run a destination as enhanced report. So just to make it very clear, enhanced report is a third-party software we use to create fancy and cool reports on the system. It's a much better system to the custom reports we have on Arthur Online. So yeah, just one thing, maybe just to write down a bit of paper, system report locked equals enhanced report, basically. All right, so I'll just give that a run. Just wait for it to load up. So as you can see here, StimulSoft is a third-party reporting software we use. All right, so here it just gives you an outline of every single report that you have on the system. So I have about 387 documents and 18 pages worth of files here. So as you can see here, for example, under Westminster, one of my properties, Jaffa Conrad, he's currently active in there. It tells you a bunch of documents that have or have not been shared against the system. So you can see here there's three ASTs that I haven't shared with him. However, looks like there's a report here that I have shared with him. It also tells you if the document has been mail merged or not. So it just makes it very clear what's going on. Now, if you just want to break it down, you can do so. So if you want to filter by tenancy ref, so for example, I only want to show Jaffa Conrad's data, I can do that. So there it is. There he is right there. If I want to filter by a particular document type, so for example, I want to only filter by contract, I can do so, or contract and images, I submit that. So here I can see all the contracts and images done against it. So for example, here, Alex second tenancy, one of my test tenants, I haven't shared any documents of him on Alpha Online, and maybe that's something you want to pick up and share with. So yeah, this is a great report just to keep track and break down everything that you have or have not shared, because I know it can be a little bit difficult sometimes, and you want to make sure everything is shared with the tenancy. So then whenever they want to ask questions about, hey, where's my AST, where's my certificate, where's blah, 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 you can just say, hey, log into Alpha Online, I've shared the document with you. As I can see here, it's been shared. Move on to it. So yeah, we use this report just to keep track of that, basically. Now, I've kind of gone over everything really with the updates on the system. Now, I think now we can just do a little bit of a Q&A actually. So, go on, guys. So what I'll do is there's actually a section in Arthur Online called Q&A. So just use that section right there and just throw in all the questions you can. I'll try answer as many as I can. Okay. All right. A few questions coming in now. Okay. So. How can you schedule for someone's rent to change in the future without changing their dates? Now, to be fair, if that's the case, what I would just simply do is when you go into the tenancy. So if I just go into Hartley Smith here, instead of going through renewals, let's say the dates don't change, you just want to change the rent amount. What I would simply do is just go into edit tenancy here and change the rent figure here, as you can see down here. But make sure as well, what I would do here is under recurring charges, I would create a brand new recurring charge. So let's say this guy, let's say Harley Smith has been on 600 quid, and at the end of April, he's going to be charged for 700 quid. Let's pretend that he had a 600 quid rent here. So there's actually one there. There it is right there. Let's say that's ended. So what I then do now is create a brand new recurring charge to start on the 1st of May and make that 700 quid. And when you send a message to the tenant through Arthur Online, will that send them an actual email, or will they have to have an Arthur account to view it? They will send to them via email and through Arthur Online, so both basically. How it will look in Arthur Online is that they'll just have an attached message like you guys see on Arthur Online. Through email, they will receive it like it's a normal email address with a document attached to it on top. Okay. Guys, for any questions outside of this webinar that you're looking to get on, please can you use the live chat, please. So any questions here, just throw a message in there and ask for an update now, and my team will get back to you, or my manager will get back to you on that. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't go over the contract. Sorry. Yeah, that's a great question actually. So with the contracts, let me go over this. So within Arthur Online, the mail merge templates, you've got the mail merge template section. Now, if I click into tenancies and then click into general, so here you have like the normal variables that you guys will be using, which is the tenancy start, the tenancy end. There it is right there, tenancy end. However, now you got the new renewed one. So if I just type in renewal, there it is right there. So you got the tenancy start, tenancy end date, the rent amount, etc. Now, what you would do is what I would do actually. So guys, so I'll get my AST, which is, let's say it's this one here. I'll just download that and just to open it up. Just wait for that to open up. Now, so here's my my fake AST template here. But I need to replace this now with the new rent amount and the new start and end dates, etc. So what I do is I go into tenancy, view variables, and then go to general. I type in renew. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to copy and paste these variables. So if I click copy here, I then go back into the document. I then replace that with the new contract. So there it is, renewed start. And then put in the start date as well. So let me put in the start date. There it is right there. All right, there you go. And let me just get one more in. So let's put the end date in as well. And yeah, actually, let's put the term in as well on top of that. One last one. We'll just do the term, and then we'll move, and then we'll upload it. All right, so there you go, term. All right, so there's my renewal ones. Now what I need to do, all right, is I don't re-upload it against that AST template. So that was my normal AST contract. I'm now going to create a new template called Renewal AST template. I'm just going to choose a file. I'm going to upload that one file. So if I actually just drag and drop it, wait for that to load. All right. Let me just get that one. All right, did I save it? Yes, I did. All right, open. So there it's right there. The model's against the tenancy, of course, and I click upload. So there is my renewal AST template. So now if I go back into Harley Smith and then go to documents, mail merge template, or mail merge, sorry, I'll just type in renewal AST. Document type is contract. You can create your own document type if you like, and maybe rename it renewal contract, so then you can specify the difference. The tenancy template is actually the renewal one I just created, so it's the renewal AST template. I click continue. I can ignore these custom fields that I've created, and then if I just convert it to PDF and just show you guys what it looks like, I close that. Right, so there it is right there. And if I just have a look, hopefully I saved it actually. So there it is. There's my new renewal start and my new renewal end date, the new contract term, and look, there's the new rent amount as well, 700 quid that I added in. So that's how you guys would do it. Now, as you can see, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Obviously, I've been doing mail merge templates for years now, so I can just do it at the back of my head. So you guys can kind of just give it yourself. So make sure you just don't replace the old AST contract or the original AST contract. You create a brand new one and call it Renewal AST contract. Okay, so if I'm a self-managing landlord, would I use the owner app or the manager app? I would recommend you use the manager app. You do not need to use the owner app if you're a self-managing landlord. All right, let's see the other questions we got here. When you renew a tenancy, do you need to issue a contract again? We use the status periodic when they end the initial AST and don't issue contracts for periodic. So it's totally based on your company and how you manage it. So obviously some agencies, they do scheduled renewals, so they renew another fixed contract against their tenancy. whereas some do periodic and they just go onto a rolling contract and they don't issue any new contract against that. So really, it's purely based on if this company is for you or not. Sorry, if this features for your company or not. I assume if you have zero, you can ignore the new bank feed. Yes, you can just ignore it if you like. It's worth maybe looking into seeing if you prefer it to zero. But really, it's just down to how you want to fit your company. Really, the live bank feed is for clients who aren't using Zero or QuickBooks at all within Arthur Online. Could you please go through the tenancy renewal screens again, or just remind me how to access this from more? So yeah, if you just quickly just go into the tenancy, just briefly do that. So if I just go back into Harley Smith again, I'm under the tenancy summary page. As you can see here, I click more at the top and click change tenancy. So that one right there. And then here it will tell you if you want to renew it, which I do. Guys, if you've got any issues or bugs that you feel like need to be reporting, please can you do that through the live chat so then my team can pick this up. Thank you very much. Why should you not replace the mail merge template, but instead make a new one? Because you need both. That's why. So you might have a new tenancy starting, so you need to use the normal AST contract, and then you might have another tenancy that's renewing. So then you need two different templates. Because if you use the AST, like if you just use the normal AST contract template against a renewed tenancy, then it will just show their old dates and not their new dates. If you use the new renewal template against a new tenancy that isn't being renewed, then it won't show their dates at all. So that's why you've got to have two. One for just normal new AST contracts, and then one for renewed contracts. Okay, guys, I'll give you guys a few more minutes to come up with any more questions. Then we'll give it the end of the webinar. Okay, guys, I think that's it. All right, I think I've answered all the questions. If I've missed it, I'm sorry. What I just recommend you guys do is use our live chat on Arthur Online. My team will be more than happy to answer the questions following up. Now, if you have turned up late or you've missed out on a few things because of a reason I don't know, then we are uploading this to YouTube later today. Should be around later this afternoon, or maybe early tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys need another recap on today's webinar, we're more than happy to send over. We'll send over a link probably to all of you guys that did join the webinar as well. So yeah, okay, guys. I think I'll leave it there. Thank you guys all for joining. There's a very great webinar actually, and there's a lot of nice new improvements. Now, if you guys have any other recommendations or other feedback that you'd love to give, that'd be very helpful. Okay, guys. Yeah, I'll call it the end of this webinar. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all very well, and I wish you all the best. Okay, thanks, guys.